Man, the Jacksonville Jaguars are the most underrated team in the NFL. The most underrated offense. This offense definitely has the potential to be top 15, maybe even top 10 next year. This offense with Trevor Lawrence, when they get Trevor Lawrence, is going to be a very, very decent offense. And they're very underrated, to say the least. I mean, the offensive line is underrated, the receiving core is underrated, the running back is more so on the radar. More people know about him, but he is a very solid back. Um, so let's start with the offensive line first. First we're gonna go with center, Brandon Linder, very solid center, was very solid center last year, and then you have at guards Norwell and Can, two two decent guys that get the job done, very solid centers, and then tackles you have Cam Robinson and Juwan Taylor, two relatively younger guys. Robinson coming off the franchise tag, and then you have Jawan Taylor, another young guy. They both have some potential, and they're both are still developing and can be decent tackles. So, to say the least, this Jaguars offensive line is underrated. Now, their biggest downfall is tight end, but they may be able to go without tight end, without a top-notch tight end or a decent receiving tight end. They may be able to, and then they have their wide receiving core is underrated as well. They have the likes of DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault, and Marvin Jones Jr. All solid options that Trevor Lawrence will have. DJ Chark, big guy, go up and get those contested jump catches, and he's shown the ability to do that. He's shown the ability to be that true number one guy. And then you have your veteran in Marvin Jones Jr., a very solid guy who could play on the outside, and he also play in the slot a little bit. Marvin Jones can be explosive. I mean, the man's got like 20 touchdowns in the past 2 years. Very underrated, if you ask me, and no one talks about him. The dude's got speed. The dude's got some height to him, man. And then you have Laviska Shenault in the slot, who showed some promise last year. He really showed some flashes, and I think he's going to be a decent slot receiver, and that gives that gives Trevor Lawrence some really solid options to go to next year. Now, like I said, tight end is the downfall. But then if you go back in the backfield, you have James Robinson, one of the better rookie running backs last season. Very solid season last season. And if he continues that success, this team around Trevor Lawrence, or this offense around Trevor Lawrence, is going to be looking pretty good. Um, Even coming from a Colts fan, I truly believe the Jacksonville Jaguars have a shot to win this division. Um, I mean, that'll be for another video, but now I want to talk about their defense a little bit. And man, the defense isn't as bad as last year. That's for sure. They've got some other pieces that could definitely progress in year two, but then some pieces that they still have that were okay last year, but they kind of do need to upgrade. At corners, I think they're kind of set at corner with Shaquille Griffin and C.J. Henderson. Um, and then they have Trey Herndon in the slot, which I guess is okay. Shaq and C.J. Henderson could be a solid duo. C.J. Henderson, a former top 5 pick. Then you have Shaquille Griffin coming off of a really solid season last season. Very solid corner. Now their linebackers, they're great run guys. They're great. How do you say it? They're great hard nosed um linebackers, I should say, but they're not the greatest in pass coverage. And in today's league, that's what you kind of need, where passing is really the main outlet, the main thing anymore. Don't get me wrong, two very solid linebackers, but in today's age, I think they need to find another linebacker that can pass coverage. So I'll look for another guy that can pass coverage, and then you have on the defensive line is a bit underrated. They have Smoot, who was a solid tackle last year, nothing to write home about, but he got the job done. Then you have Josh Allen and Caleb Von Chaseon. Now, we've seen the ability of Josh Allen. He's still developing. He's still getting better, and I think he's a solid edge rusher so far. And then you have Caleb Von Chasey on the young guy out of um I forgot where, he but I think he could be solid too coming off the edge. He's got that speed. He's got some explosiveness. Um, their biggest downfall on their defense. Well, their defense is basically the downfall, but they do have some guys here that are underrated, and Wilson and no, I mean the guys underrated. I like corner, maybe edge, maybe a linebacker, but that's about it. They still have some work to do in the defense. The safeties are nothing to write home about. You definitely need to get better there. Get a little better at linebacker with pass coverage, and man, this team's a decent team. Once you look at it, it's better than you think. They've really kept some pieces, and they really have built some solid pieces. And then they're still gonna have more rounds and more rounds later on. The early second. I mean, this Jaguars offense is gonna be lethal next year. It's gonna be lethal. If Trevor Lawrence is anything of half of what he is as a prospect coming out for his rookie season at least, man, the offense is gonna look scary. Now I truly think that the Jacksonville Jaguars can win the AFC South too. Um, as decent as the Colts are, as pretty good as the Titans are, the Colts definitely do have very few flaws, and then Titans have a few as well. The Titans have a struggling defense. They did sign Bud Dupree. This, that defense does need some work. They signed Danico Autry, but it does need some work. And then you have the Colts who need an edge rusher and they need a tackle. We'll see how they tackle those. But yeah, um, like if Carson Wentz doesn't perform to expectations, if he really isn't that guy next year, if he plays last year, which I highly doubt he's going to, I think it's hard for him to play as bad as he did. I think he will be a solid guy there, but to be honest, this Jacksonville team is being written off so early, and even as a Colts fan, I'm gonna admit I think this offense is gonna look pretty good with Trevor Lawrence, and I think they have a legit shot at topping the AFC South. I mean, it's gonna be difficult. They might have to score 30 points a game because their defense really, really may be the reason why. But I mean that's not too sustainable. But at the same time, there are some teams out there that won't be able to score 30. That just won't. And then I don't know. This Jacksonville team is underrated, which is my point, and be on the lookout for them. So I appreciate you guys for watching this video, and let me know what you guys think about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let me know what you Jaguars fans think. I appreciate you stopping by, checking out my video. Check out my channel. I have some other videos, more content coming out, mock draft, plenty of other content coming out. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and watching the video. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. See you next time.